This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm your guest, Andrew.
And today we're going to be talking about both the Power Glove as what it existed in the beginning, and whether or not maybe Nintendo should make it as an accessory for the Switch, or maybe something like it. That's our Throwback Thursday topic. You want to give us a quick, brief overview of what you think of it, Will?
What I think of the Power Glove in general, or about it bringing it back?
Maybe I should just give a quick description of what it, like the brief recap I always give in the beginning. So it was released in
Make sure everyone knows what it is.
It was released in 1989 for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. It was marketed as this glove you could wear to play games on your NES more efficiently and in a much more cool fashion. It's been basically reviewed by every big game reviewing channel. AVGN, Gaming Historian, I think JonTron did a video on it, but countless YouTubers have already covered what it is and how it works. So my favorite video probably on it was the Gaming Historian video, which is what you're seeing footage of right now. It's widely considered one of the worst ways to play most NES games, at least from an official OEM endorsed product.
Especially if you're a lefty.
Yes, yes, impossible. And the question is, should Nintendo/Mattel make an updated version of the Power Glove, which allegedly the Ring Fit Adventure is kind of a similar idea, but it's only for one game, for the Switch or current consoles, or even make a mini console like the NES Mini, except this type of a controller. And like I said before, Will, why don't you give me your take on it?
I think it's very much a product of its time, and it was cool then, and it's like that almost futuristic view that the 80s had of what we thought the future was going to be. I don't think it would do well now. I think we already have the Switch is already pretty cool enough. It already has the Joy-Cons you can detach, and it has the motion controls in it. So I don't think that it's necessary. Has that ever stopped a company from making an accessory before? No. Would it probably, someone would buy it? I know Chris would buy it, so at least one person would buy it. Okay. But I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it would sell particularly well. Yeah, that's my take on it.
How about you, Andrew?
I'm low-key happy that Nintendo's been less gimmicky in its current format with the Switch, being a little bit more serious. So the Power Glove is not appealing at all. Then again, if you had to make a selling point for it, maybe in partnership with a VR experience, because I personally don't like controllers with the way VR is, because, I don't know, it just seems like a weird movement experience at that rate. So that would be the only way you might be able to make it work. But Nintendo should avoid that at the moment, too.
Have you seen Ring Fit Adventure?
I have not.
Videos.
I've seen it.
So Ring Fit Adventure is like this. It's not a Power Glove, and it definitely doesn't look like the Power Glove, but it's got a similar idea. It's playing a game with the controller, and it's got fitness involved, which the Power Glove did not really. But it's like that ring right there. You see, you mount the Joy-Con on it. And you can use it to play this RPG.
Isn't this more the concept is the fitness game is pretty cool and different? This seems like it's very reminiscent of every other peripheral that the Wii had, where you can attach the Wiimote into a gun or crossbow or anything.
This is way more advanced than anything the Wii ever had.
And I would hope so. That was like 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, and those like gun attachments and stuff were always terrible. Tried playing a first-person shooter with those, and it was just like, ugh.
This has like direct input to the Joy-Con to the Switch, and it does a really good job of interfacing with the Switch through the use of the Joy-Con. The Joy-Cons honestly are like a marvel of modern technology. I have to say, I hate using them, but the amount of adaptations they can take on for the Switch is insane. When you look at like Labo, you look at like Ring Fit Adventure, you look at basically any accessory that can allow you to dock the Joy-Cons. It's insane how many things they can do. And the HD Rumble does work really well. I tested it out with, was it 1-2 Switch. It worked a lot better than I ever would have expected it to. And you kind of feel like there's a game where you're like moving your hand, to feel where the marbles are going, like this and that. You could like literally feel from the vibrations where the marbles are physically at.
That's really
on
cool.
the game screen. It was really neat. But thinking about a Power Glove, I wonder if they could do some kind of adaptation with the Joy-Con that would work well for VR, like Andrew's saying. That would be really different.
Mm-hmm.
Use the gyros and the Switch controllers along with some kind of an attachment in an armband. I don't know. And then you could just call it the Power Glove.
That is the most awkward thing about like the VR and a lot of those motion controls, if you're like with the attachments and stuff, is that motion and the attachment don't really work as well. At least from my experience. Like,
I've watched a few of PewDiePie's videos in VR. He just looks so awkward.
yeah.
I mean, look at
It's
him.
not natural, especially because like you might not think about it, but you do like kind of in your peripherals see your controllers, which I think is a big thing for just how you're pressing the buttons and stuff. It feels natural because you do see it. You don't pay attention to it, but you do see it, and that experience brings you away from it.
Yeah.
So there's a disconnect from your controls.
So I think we're in agreement. Bringing back the actual Power Glove as an accessory, like just by itself, probably not the best idea. Not you wouldn't do like what you did with Hyperkin with the Duke controller for the original Xbox versus or the Duke controller from the original Xbox getting remade for a modern console. You wouldn't do that with the Power Glove, but maybe some modern iteration of it involving VR or like something like the Ring Fit Adventure might make sense, and it would play on the nostalgia of all the gamers. You guys have anything to add? Go ahead. Sorry.
Other than just having the Power Glove, you can have the Power Gloves. So you can, it would work with both hands. That would fit into the VR better. And also, lefties would no longer be left out.
And my opinion is just focus on the Switch Pro.
Yeah. Well, it's between the two.
Yeah. Just go with it.
Gotcha. All right. Anybody got anything to add to it?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
30 years ago, this is the 30th anniversary since the original Power Glove was released for the NES, and that's this year, 2019. So, 30 years of video reviews, terrible gameplay, and just altogether people just having nostalgia for a bad accessory for the NES. It's probably the most well-known accessory of all the bad accessories for the NES. And,
I would highly recommend seeing this gaming historian video after you watch our video, of course.
Yes.
Because it's actually really cool, the history behind making this glove and what it was originally used for and how it was like used by NASA and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But overall, it's a legacy accessory that can be forgotten, with very little impact to the rest of us. With that being said, as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm your guest, Andrew.
And we will see you
Next CHRILLCAST.